I just want to start off the video by saying this is not a shot at Champion Jiu-Jitsu in any way, shape, or form. There's great coaches there. The master's great. And the technique is great. It's a quality jiu-jitsu gym. I also want to say I'm going to keep making videos of training and doing my other stuff, like similar content to what I was making. But I'm also going to make a lot more of these videos where I kind of just talk and do reviews on certain things. Because I'm unemployed and my training schedule doesn't really give me much opportunity to have like a real job. So I just want somebody to talk to. I'm bored and lonely. So the main purpose of this video is to discuss why I'm no longer at Champion Jiu-Jitsu anymore. To all of the millions of my fans that are watching out there, all 20 of my subscribers on YouTube, if you were wondering. So, where do I start? It all started sometime in August, I'd like to say, where I was unemployed and I knew I wanted to train full-time to become a fighter. So I offered my gym, I offered to work there, and I wanted to work there so I could not only have a free membership, but I can also just be surrounded in a gym like a fighter should be when they're trying to accomplish such a goal. So I started to coach. I was offered a position at Bolingbrook as like an internship. So like 3 days a week, 4 days a week, I'd have to go over to Bolingbrook and coach kids classes and adult classes for jiu-jitsu and kids boxing. And it wasn't bad at first until I realized every time I needed to get gas, I was dipping into my savings account that already didn't have much savings in it. So that quickly became an issue. And I also wasn't getting paid for this internship, like I think I mentioned that. And it was too much for me. And it just became very, very difficult being able to balance that and not being able to get a job because I was training in the morning and I also then had to go coach for this internship. And the idea was at the end of the internship, I was going to get offered a full-time coaching position, which I wasn't really even in it for the coaching. I could have been all right just being like a front desk helper or whatever, but they needed coaches, so I was helping out where I was needed. And it turned out that it was a lot harder than I bargained for. Just having to go to Bolingbrook, that was my main problem. So that quickly became an issue. And then in September, I kind of told my master Sue and his wife, hey, I don't think this is going to work out for me any longer. It's just too stressful. I'm pulling out of my savings account, and it's just getting to be a little too much. And they were respectful, very respectful, and they said I didn't have to finish the month at Bolingbrook. But I didn't want to leave them high and dry. I kind of felt like shitty doing that, so I just offered to finish the month, which foresight I didn't even end up doing just because a series of other things that happened that I'll discuss later in the video occurred, and it just became, I kind of felt like I was trapped in a coaching role, and I didn't want to disappoint my master Sue or his wife in any shape or form. So I kept going for as long as I could until I wanted to have an MMA fight. And using my foresight again, it was a little too early for me to fight. I wasn't sharp with my kickboxing. I was also cross-training at a gym called VFS at the time. And I was just still in progress with my skills. And I understand I probably wasn't ready at the time. But I asked my master, Sue, that if I could fight. And he said, give me 3 months and he'll show me the exact way that I need to fight and how I would win fights and this and this and that. And then one day I was talking to his wife about the full-time coaching position. And that full-time coaching position was reduced to like 2 times a week. and it didn't sound like I was going to get paid much for it. So I was just like, I don't want to say I felt like my balls were busted, but she kind of told me I should probably get a part-time job, which I also didn't really have time for at the time. So it was just really hard trying to decide what I wanted to do. And then 2 minutes into that conversation, my master walks into the room, and he didn't know I was cross-training because there's like this weird loyalty thing at Champion where it's like, it's kind of frowned upon to go to another gym to train. Unless if you come from another gym and then you're going there to train. Otherwise, if you're one of ASU's students, he generally doesn't want to see you go anywhere else to train. And I found that out pretty quickly because one of the head coaches told ASU that I was training at VFS, and ASU did not like that, and he heavily suggested that I cancel my membership there. And I listened to him because he's my master at the end of the day, and I wanted to respect him because they gave me the opportunity to coach there for free because I didn't have a job. And as for my VFS membership, I was also pulling out of my savings just to pay for that as well because it's something I thought I needed. But my master Sue really didn't think I needed that. And then I was kind of told like it was shitty to cross-train at a gym and be training at this gym for free because like the idea was I didn't have a job. So I needed a job, so I was coaching there. But a lot of that time I was given was from my time and my resources as well. So it's not only they were giving me the whole world and everything was being given to me, I was also giving a lot of my time. I was spending a lot of gas money and a lot of energy as well to be able to go to Bolingbrook that often. So I canceled my membership at VFS, and for like a solid 2 weeks, I was doing exactly what ASU told me to do. He just told me, you don't need kickboxing. If you have kickboxing, because I'm a shorter fighter, I'm going to get knocked out. He said, I just need to know how to box fast and take somebody down and do it from there. Which, training with some of the MMA fighters at VFS, I quickly realized it was a lot more complicated than that. But I just wanted to listen to him because ASU has many great athletes as well. So I canceled my membership. I started training under his MMA rules for the 2 weeks I was still there. And then 1 week, I was doing my MMA session, and my two head coaches were doing a private with my master. And one of the head coaches was told to do like a north-south triangle. And then he turned over and pointed at me. He said, I'm not going to do it if that snake is watching me. And he was referring to me because I was going to VFS. It was kind of jokingly, but really not, because he literally would not do the move if I was watching. So ASU just kind of told me that there was nothing to see there and I should just go. And that just kind of gave me a bad taste in my mouth, because when you're at VFS, there's many professionals and they're hitting pads or doing whatever. You can watch them. Nobody's telling you to go away. And these are people who are very professional, who made it in the sport. And we're all apples from the same tree when you go to the same gym. So you should be able to watch technique that your teammates are doing. Keep in mind, I'm also only a blue belt, and this head coach was a brown belt, so it's not like I'm going to pull off like a north-south triangle just like on a whim. It's very difficult, and it takes some coordination. It was just an interesting move to be able to see, so maybe I could practice it myself. And then, after that, I just went home, and I was just thinking, if a real master that has the best intentions for you won't want to snuff knowledge, but will push the expanse of it. All great athletes, great fighters, they might go to multiple states to train, multiple gyms to train at. They'll even go to multiple countries just to go train. And every good coach will push the expanse of knowledge no matter what. And I felt like staying at Champion and just following Asu's plan, like many of the other people do there, I just didn't think that I was being loyal to myself. And I thought being loyal to myself was the most important thing I could do for my type of career choice that I wanted to go down. So then I decided it would probably be in my best interest not to train at Champion anymore. Just because with all the stuff that was going on, it just felt too political. It felt like too many of outside energies were coming into my training. And when you want to be a fighter, you want to focus on the quality of your training. You don't want to worry about, like, this guy not wanting to let you see a move, or not training at this gym and only doing this and this. And it was just getting too personal. And at the time, I was still, like, gonna coach starting in October in Arlington Heights. And this was, like, in the middle of September. I think I said October earlier, but this was in the middle of September. And it was just getting too political for me. For all the coaches that go to Champion that follow Sue's plan, I'm sure they'll do fantastic in life. There are many great athletes there, and they've stuck with Asu since they were younger, so I understand why they have such trust in him, because they've learned everything they've learned under his gym. But I just started jiu-jitsu 2 years ago, so when I go to another coach and they have something also equally awesome to offer me, I'm going to listen. And that's what I did when I trained at VFS. And I noticed that all these great fighters there, they're learning under all these coaches, no matter where they're from. They're going to one gym at night and then a different gym later or earlier in the morning. It's just these fighters, they push the expanse of knowledge, and their coaches will even send them to different gyms just to be able to learn stuff that they know they couldn't teach. And something Mike Valley said, who's the head coach at VFS, he mentioned, if you want to be good at soccer, you play soccer. If you want to be good at jiu-jitsu, you roll jiu-jitsu. If you want to be good at MMA, you should fight. And at the end of the day, at Champion, they were just pushing the idea where if you're really good at jiu-jitsu, all the other fighting will be easy. And I feel like they do have a competitive advantage if you're like a brown belt or black belt in jiu-jitsu. But I also didn't start really young. So if I was also learning kickboxing, jiu-jitsu, my wrestling, and I was developing all of those bases, which I am now, at the same time, I feel like that balanced fighter will have a better shot at succeeding at a higher level as just the one guy who knows one art really well and has to depend on it. And then, like, a week later, after that little north-south triangle incident happened, I let Asu and his wife know I was going to take a little break. And a little break I took. I stopped going to the gym, I canceled my membership, and I signed back up at VFS. And I found a new jiu-jitsu gym under the name of Vuk BJJ. And it's just great energy. Every time you go into one of those gyms, you're there to work. There's nothing personal about it. There's no politics. It's two fantastic gyms. And like I said earlier, Champion Jiu-Jitsu is still an awesome gym. I just felt like for the goals I'm trying to reach, I need to find stuff more personalized for me, where the business I'm under, I'm getting what I'm paying for, and I wasn't paying anything at Champion, but even the gas money, I was probably paying the same amount for a membership, like as a membership, I would be paying for all the gas money I was spending. It was quite insane. Bolingbrook is a 45-minute drive away from me. On Mondays and Wednesdays, it was an hour drive because the traffic was just so shit. So it just ended up not being worth it. And especially because at these new gyms I'm being trained by world-renowned coaches, champions, and at the jiu-jitsu gym I train at, I'm getting trained by only black belts. No other colors, just black belts. So I'm definitely getting what I'm paying for. Shout out to my parents for being able to support me, as well as my grandmother. I'm very blessed to have a family that wants me to chase my dreams, and I have a lot to repay them for when I make it. So I'm really looking forward to the progression of my career, just so I can give back to my family and show them I can do all the things I say I'm going to do. And on top of that, I also now have time to work a job. My father owns a website design business, and it's been super hard for him to keep up with just being one man running the whole business. And he always asked me to help, but I was always the busiest person in the world, just having to go and coach everywhere. So now I have the opportunity to be able to help my father, which I'm going to start very soon. And the whole point of this video was just to let whoever really cares know that I don't train at Champion for my own well-being. It's not because it's not a good gym. It's not because they don't produce athletes. It's just because it got a little too political for me there. And I'm much happier now that I don't train there and I don't have to deal with all that personal shit. It's more just like I don't want to say like a job, because when you go to a job, you kind of just feel like you have to be there. But it's more like a job because now I feel like I go there to get my work done. And I'm not just going there to, have to argue about cross-training at another gym, or there's just no more worry. I can just train, get in, get out, go back, train, get in, get out. And it's also been a lot harder to record videos of myself training, because I've noticed when you're actually training hard, it's fucking difficult to get videos of yourself, because you're not going to ask somebody else who's training hard right next to you to take a video of you, because they're also training hard. You're just in a room full of people who are very dedicated, which has helped me out a lot. So I will start taking training videos more often, but it's going to be more like personal. Like whenever I have free time, I'll invite somebody over to hold pads for me, and I can just record stuff like that. But like I said, I also wanted to make more content like this, where it's just me talking. Because, yeah, I'm a bored, lonely motherfucker, so I'm at my girlfriend's house. She's been such a blessing, too. I wouldn't be able to do this without her either, and her support. It's just, life is great when you're able to follow your dreams. And even when you're broke, you can still find great joys in just everyday life of chasing dreams and doing what you need to do. I will probably be recording a lot this week, just because, unfortunately, my great-grandmother died like 2 days ago. She lived to 103 years old, which is fucking awesome. And she wanted to be buried in Miami, so we're going to be flying out to Miami on Wednesday. So this week is just kind of going to be a more chill week for me. I just competed in Tap Out Cancer on Saturday. I didn't do very well. I had very competitive matches, but you win some, you lose some. At the end of the day, you learn. So I learned. I'm stronger from it. And I just wanted to have a quick chat with everybody who cares. Or not cares, but is listening. So thank you for watching.